So now we are going to study about HCF and the LCM part that you all have in factors and multiples part 2. Okay. So now if you take HCF, okay, what is known as HCF? HCF means the highest common factor. Okay, the highest common factor is known as HCF, and another name you can give for HCF is GCD. What does GCD means? It means greatest common factor. Okay, it means the greatest common factor. Okay, now if you take highest common factor, now you all know about factors, am I right? Yes. So now what you all have to know here is, for an example I am taking, okay, now, okay, give me a minute. For an example, now I am taking, okay, I am taking a number which is 6, 12 and 18. So when I'm taking this number, okay, when I'm taking this number, now if you want to find HCF, always remember that we have three methods by which we can find the highest common factor of any number. Okay, so the first method is by using all the factors. Okay, by using all the factors you can find the HCF. And the second method is you are going to write, okay, you are going to write the factors as a product. Okay, as a product of its prime factors. Okay, you are going to write it as a product of its prime factors. And the third one that you have is the division method. Okay, so these are the three methods that you can use to find the highest common factor of any number. What is it? So the first one is you're going to use all the factors, you're going to write all the factors and find the HCF. And the second method that you can use it is where you can write it as a product of its prime factors. And the third method that you are going to do here is by using the division method. Okay, by using the division method only all are going to find it. Okay, now let's use the first method by using all the factors. Now let's find HCF by using all the factors. That is your method 1, by using all your factors. Okay, now I have already given you, okay, I have already given you 6, 12 and 18 as your example. Now what are we going to do is we are going to find the factors. Now you all know how to do that. First of all, let's take 6. Okay, 6 we are going to divide it by one number. So if you take that one number, what is it going to be? Always it will become 2, because your number 6 is an even number. Okay, now if you divide 6 by 2, how much are you going to get? How many 2 do you have inside 6? That is 3 times. Okay, so always you will have two factors when it comes to any number. What is it? 1 and 6. Okay, that number itself, 1 and the number itself, number is 6. Now 1 is done. Again, now take 6, divide by which number? Can you divide this by 3? Yes, because this 6 is divisible by 3. 6 divided by 3 is how much? 2. So 3 and 2, you already got the factor. One is 3 and the other one is 2. Okay, now after that, again, by which number can you divide 6? Can you divide this by 4? No, you can't divide this by 4. Only these are the numbers that you have. Okay, what are the numbers? 1, 3, 2 and 6. Okay, now we already got the factors. Okay, now let's erase it and we will write it separately. What are the factors that you have? 1, and then you have 2, and then what did you have? You had 6 as well as you had 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 6. Okay, now let's go and take the number 12. Number 12, how can you find the factor? That is, you have to divide it. Okay, now if I take 12, I am going to divide this 12 by 2, because my last digit is an even number. Okay, now in 12, how many 2 do you have? That is 6. And again, okay, that is 6. Now we already got the factor. But always you will have two factors. What is it? 1 and the number itself. That is 12. Now here we found two factors. One is 2 and the other one is 6. Okay, so I'm going to write here 2 as well as I'm going to write here 6. Okay, now it's done. And do you have another factor? Can you divide 12 by 3? Yes, you can divide it by 3. So in 12, how many 3 do you have? That is 6. Okay, sorry, how many 12 do you have inside 3? How many 3 do you have inside 12? That is 4. How many 3 do you have inside 12? That is 4. So I'm going to write here 3 and I'm going to write here 4. And can you divide this by any other number other than this? Yes or no? Can you divide this by any other number? No. That's it. Okay. We took all the factors here. Okay. Now let's erase this and let's go to the next number. What is it? That is 18. Okay. Now 18. Okay. Now let's take 18 and divide it by number 2. Why? Because your last digit 8 is an even number. Now in 18, how many 2 do you have? 9 times. So then here we found two factors. Before that, always there will be two factors which are already available for any number. What is it? One and the number itself, that is 18. Okay, now here we already found two. What is it? 2 and 9. Okay, now let's go to the number 3. Can you divide 18 by 3? Yes, because if you take the digital root of this, 1 plus 8 will give you how much? 9. So 9 is a single digit. So this is the digital root. So this 9 is divisible by 3. You all know it because this is there inside the multiplication table of 3. Okay. So now let's take 18, divide it by 3. So in 18, how many 3 do you have? 6. Okay, now we already got it. 3 and 6 is your factor. Now other than that, can you divide 18 by 4? No. 5? No. Now that's it. Okay, no need to again go through anything. These are the factors that you have. Now we found all the factors. We found all the factors related to 6, 12 and 18. Okay, but using the method 1. Okay, method 1, you have to find all the factors by dividing separately. In separately I divided and I found all the factors and I wrote it like this. Now highest common factor means you have to know about something known as common factor. What is common factor? Now here I wrote every factors like this in a what, like in a row. Okay, in a row I wrote everything like this. Okay, now I have to see this. I have to see all the number, all the factors of this and see what is the common factor that I have. What is the common factor that I already have? So the common factor, if I take for 6, 12 and 18, can you all see here? Can you all see here? This one is same. Common means same. Okay. So one is same. So I'm going to circle that one. And what's the next same number that you can see? 2, 2, 2. It's available in all three. So I'm going to circle it. It's common. And after that 3, 3 and 3. It's also common. And after that 6, 6 and 6. It's also common. 4 do you have? No. 12 do you have anything common? No. 18 do you have common anywhere? No, you don't have. So only these four numbers are the numbers which are common, which are same. Okay, which are same. So these are the factors which are same or the common factors. We call it as the common factors. Whatever number which are having the same number, you call it as common factors. Whatever factors you have the same number, you call it as common factors. Okay, so now we found all the common factors. Okay, what are the common factors we found? That is 1, 2, 3 and 6. Okay, write it like this. So these are the common factors 1, 2, 3 and 6. Now what is HCF? The highest common factor. Highest common factor means, remember that among these common factor you have to see, among these common factor you have to see the factor which is the largest number. Okay, you have to see the factor which is the largest number. So here in 1, 2, 3 and 6, say me what is the largest common factor that you have? The largest common factor here you have is 3. The largest common factor that you have here is 6. This is the largest or the highest factor or the highest common factor, that is 6. Now did you understand what does highest common factor means? Highest common factor means among your common factors, you have to see the largest common factor. That largest common factor is known as your highest common factor. Now, did you all understand it? So, 6 is your what? 6 is the highest common factor. Now, did you all understand how to find the highest common factor by using the method 1? First of all, you have to write all the factors and find the common or the equal, the same factors, and circle all the same factors. After that, come and write it down and see what is the largest common factor that you have, that is 6. So that will become your highest common factor of this number. Did you understand? Yes. Okay. Now after that, let's go to the method 2. Okay, now let's go to the method 2 using the same number, but now we are going to do the method 2. What's the method 2? You write these numbers as a product, as a product of its prime factors. You are going to write all of these numbers as a product of its prime factors. How are you going to do that? That is, now you are going to what? You are going to take the number 6. Okay, now take the number 6 like this and keep it like that. Okay, now let's take 6 and let's divide this. Okay, but remember, I'm going to use the same division and I'm going to keep on dividing. I'm going to keep on dividing using the same division, not separately. In this, I'm not going to take separately. Okay, not going to take separately. I'm going to use the same division. Same division. Did you understand? Yes. Now let's take 6 and let's divide it by which number? Because this is an even number, divide this by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is how much? 3. And again use the same division. In the first method, I didn't use the same division. Separate one. But here, I'm using the same division. Okay. So in the 3, how many, in the 3, how many 2 do you have? Can you take it? No, you can't, because this 3 is what? Not divisible by 2. This is not even. Not even. This is not even, so you can't divide by 2. We can divide this by which number? By 3 itself. 3 divided by 3 is how much? 1. Until you get 1 in the end, you have to keep on dividing this using the same division symbol. But here you should only have what? Prime numbers. That means prime factors. Okay, that's how we take it. Now we got all the prime factors. What is it? 2 and 3. Now here, if you want to write something as a product of prime factor, how will you write it? In the previous part we studied. Here you have prime numbers. No, write it as a product. 2 multiplied by 3. Okay, 2 multiplied by 3. Now this is how you write it as a product of your prime factors. These two are prime factors. Writing in a multiplication format, you call it as a product of its prime factors. Now come and write here 2 into 3. 2 into 3. In the previous one we use comma. No, here we are not going to use that. Okay, we are going to use like this. And after that, let's go to 12. Let's divide 12 by which number? Because the last digit is even, use 2. 12 divided by 2 is how much? That is 6. Again divide by which number? This is even number, by 2. 6 divided by 2 is how much? 3. Can you divide this by 2? No, because this is not even. You can divide this by 3 itself. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now I got 1 in the end. Now this is finished. So I got all the prime factors here. So how are you going to write this as a product of prime factor? Multiply everything. 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 3. Okay, now come and write here. We found all the product. 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 3. Okay, now after that, what can you do here? Go to 18 and divide this 18 by which number? By using 2, because your last digit is even number. In 18, how many 2 do you have? 9 times. Now divide 9 by which number? Can you divide by 2? No, this is divisible only by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is how much? 3. Again, this 3 is divisible only by 3. So how many times? 3 divided by 3 is 1. we got 1 here in the end. We got all the prime factors here. So we have to write it as a product. How can you write? 2 multiply by 3 multiply by 3. Okay, now come and write here. 2 multiply by 3 multiplied by 3. Okay, so now we got all the product of its prime factors. We got all the product of its prime factors. Now what are you going to do here? You are going to circle what? You are going to circle all the common factors. What are the common factors? 2, and here 3, and here also 3. So you can circle it like this. You have to see all the common factors and circle it here. After that, what will you do? After that, you can say that your HCF is equals to whatever common you got here. No, write it like this. 2 is common, so write 2 multiply, and the other common number is 3. So write 3 here. Then what will you do? You have to multiply 2 by 3. Then how much will you got? 3 2s are 6. So your highest common factor will become what? 6. Did you understand? Thing is, you have to in the second factor, you have to divide everything in the same division. Get your prime factors, write it as a product of prime factors. Come and write here in the same row. After that, circle all the common factors and multiply those common factors. 2 is your one common factor, 3 is another common factor. So come and what? You have to write it here and multiply both of them. If you multiply 2 by 3, how much will you get? 6. So 6 is the highest common factor. This is how you find the highest common factor, by using your method 2, which is writing it as a product of its prime factors. Did you understand? Yes, okay. Now let's go through the method 3. Okay, now let's go through the method 3. What is your method 3? That is, you have to use your division method. You have to use your division method. In division method, I took 6, 12 and 18. No, what are you going to do is, you will write everything in one division itself like this. You will write 6, 12 and 18 in one long division like this. Okay, then it will become very easy. Now see, now what you have to do is, you have to see by which number is 6, 12 and 18. All three numbers should be divisible by one number, one common number, and you have to divide it here. Okay, so can you say me what is that one number which divides all 6, 12 and 18 together, that common number? 6 is an, look at here, 6 is an even number, 2 is an even number, last digit, 8, the last digit is an even number. So by which number can you divide here? By 2. So come and divide here. Now 6 divided by 2 is how much? How many 2 do you have inside 6? That is 3. And 12, in how many 2 do you have inside 12? 6. In 18, how many 2 do you have? 9. See, very easy. We are doing everything in like this in one division. Now say me by which number can you divide 3, 6, 9, all 3? See, this is 3, this is 6, this is 9. Can't you see all of these are divisible by number 3? Yeah. So, I am going to take 3 here. Now, 3 divided by 3 is how much? How many 3 do you have inside 3? 1 time. In 6, how many 3 do you have? 2 times. In 9, how many 3 do you have? 3 times. Right now, we got all the answers here. Okay, now say me, can I take it like this again? Can you say me one number which divides 1, 2, 3 all together? Do you have any number like that which will divide all 1, 2 and 3 together? No, there is no number like that. So what will you do? You will stop your division here itself. You will stop your division here itself. So see here. Now here we got all the numbers that we need. Okay, we got all the numbers that we need. So what will you do here? You will multiply these two. You will multiply these two to get your HCF, your highest common factor. What will you do? Multiply these two by 3. This is what, which is very important for us. Multiply these two by 3, then how much will you get? 6. So what is your highest common factor? Your highest common factor will become 6. Did you understand? In your method 3 division, write all your 3 numbers in one long division and see which number is divisible. Okay, which number divides all 3 numbers together and write it here. Okay, if you don't have a number which will not divide anything, don't take it. Only when you have one number which divides all 3 number together, then take it. Okay, and finally, do you have here any number which is dividing all 1 2 3 together? No, you don't have. That means that is the end. You have to understand that is the end. Stop your division, take these numbers, multiply those two numbers so that you can find your HCF, the highest common factor. Did you all understand? This is the third method. Y'all can use any method that y'all wish. When they say you to use, okay, use any method. If they say you to use any method, y'all can use that method. But if they ask you to use the first method, that is write all the factors and find the HCF, use it. When they say you to find the HCF by using product of its prime factor, use it. When they say to use division method, use it. Don't go to use anything that you want. But if they ask you to use any method, use any method that you like, which you feel is easy. But for me, in my personal opinion, I would say that this third method is very easy. Third method is very easy. If you all can use this, it will help you to avoid waste of time, and you can easily find the answer. Did you understand? But you all have to practice. Always make sure to practice. Never ever forget to practice. If you don't practice, you won't get marks. That's simple as it is. You have to give your hard work. Did you understand? That's what max is for. Okay. Now you can ask me. Okay. Now you can ask me that if you get any prime numbers, here, what will you do? If you get any prime numbers here, what will you do? Remember, if you have any prime number, the highest common factor you're going to get will always be 1. The highest common factor you are going to get will always be 1 when you have a prime number. Did you understand? Let's do and see for an example. I'm taking 2 here. This is a prime number, no? So there will only be 2 factors. What are those 2 factors? That is 1 and the number 2 itself. When you take 3, this is a prime number. So what's the one and only factor that you will always have? That will become 1 and the number 3 itself. Am I right? So now say me, what is the common factor you can take here? 1. 1 is the only common factor you can take. So what will become your highest common factor? That will become 1. So always remember, whenever you have a prime number, the highest common factor will always be what? 1. Never ever forget that. Okay. Now let's study about LCM. What is LCM? That is what you call it as least common multiple. Okay, if you all know English, you all can identify it very easily. Least common multiple. What does least means? Small. The smallest common multiple. The smallest common multiple. When it comes to HCF, you all should know about factors. When it comes to LCM, you all should know about multiples. Did you all understand multiples? Remember, this HCF and LCM will always come in your life every single time. When you all are going further and further, it will always at any point of your life, however, it will be involved. That's it. So if you don't study this, it will be hard. But I know, however, you all will try to remember this. Okay. Make sure to do it. Okay. Now if you take least common multiple, that is the smallest common multiple that you have. Okay, so for the least common multiple also, there are 3 methods you all can use to find the LCM. Okay, so the first method that you all can use is by using all the multiples. By using all your multiples. Second method is have to write as a product of its prime factors. Product of its prime factors. And the third one is your division method. and the third one is your division method. Okay, now let's use the first method and find your LCM. Okay, for an example, now I'm taking a number here, that is, let's take 2, 3 and 4. So now the first method will be what you have to use. You have to use all the multiples and then you have to find the LCM. Okay, you have to find the LCM. Okay, now what are you going to do? Take 2, 3, 4. Now say me, what are the multiples of 2? That means the multiplication table answers. What are multiples? The multiplication table answers. Now what's the multiplication table answers of 2? You can take 2 ones are 2, and then 2 twos are how much? 4. 2 threes are 6. 2 fours are 8, and then 2 fives are 10. 2 6 are how much? 12. And then you can say that 2 sevens are how much? 14. And then 2 eights are how much? 16. Okay, 2 nines are how much? 18. 2 tens are how much? 2 tens are how much? 20. Okay, like that you can take. And 3, if you take 3, what's the common multiple that you all have? That means what's the multiple that you have? 3 into 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 3 6 are 18, 3 9s are how much? 3 9s are 3 5s are 15, 3 6 are how much? 18, 3 7s are how much? 21. No need to take that, enough. Now here, 4 1s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16, 4 5s are 20. Okay, I like that. Okay, remember, like this, you all can take all your multiples. Okay, you all can take all your multiples. Okay, so after taking all your multiples, remember that. Okay, now what should you all do here? What should you all do here? You all have to see all the common ones, all the common multiples. Now say me, what are the common multiples that you have? Common means your same multiples. Your same multiples. So here 2 do you have here? No. But 4 here? No, you don't have 4. But do you have 6 here common? No. But do you have 8 common? No. Then what can you take? Do you have 12 common? Yes, you have 12 common. And again, after that, do you have any other number common? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18, is it common? No. But what about 20? Is it common? Yes or no? Do you have any common numbers here? What are the common numbers that you have here? I can take another one. In the 2, if you take 2, 20, no? 21, sorry, 22, 24. And in 3, what can you take? After 18, what do you have? 21. And after that, you have 24. And here 4, how much? 4 6 are 24. Another number common came. That is, in 2, you have 24 here. And in 3 you have 24, in 4 you have 24. Now what are the common or the same multiples you had? So the common multiples you had was 12 and 24. 12 and 24. Among this you have to see the least common multiple. That means you have to see the smallest common multiple. Common means you have to take all the same multiples. After you circle it, write it here. Now what's the smallest common multiple here? You can take 12 or 24, which is the smallest one or the least one, that is 12. So 12 will be your least common multiple. Did you understand? The smallest common multiple is 12. So 12 will be your what? 12 will be your smallest or the least common multiple here. Did you understand how to find the LCM? In the method one, always remember you have to write all the multiples in this same row, and you have to see all the common ones and circle it off and write the common or the same multiples here and see what is the smallest. Always see what is your smallest multiple and come and write it here. So that is what you call as your least common multiple. The smallest common multiple that you have is known as least common multiple. That is how much? 12. Did you all understand? Okay, now let's go to the method 2. Okay guys, so let's go to the method 2. What does method 2 says? You have to write as a product of its prime factors. Write it as a product of its prime factor. So what can you do? So here I'll take another example. Let's take 4, 12 and 18. So under this, okay, under this they are asking you to find the LCM, okay, by writing it as a product of its prime factor. So what will you do? Let's take 4, let's take 12, let's take 18. Always write like this. Now let's take 4. To find anything as a product of prime factors, what should you do? You have to divide. Don't forget the division. Now divide 4 by which number? This is an even number, so divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is how much? 2. Okay, we got it as 2. Again divide this by what? Again divide this by 2. 2 divided by 2 is what? 1. Okay, now here we got 1 at the end, so right here all of these should be what? Prime numbers. So if you want to write it as a product of prime factors, what should you do? Multiply this. 2 multiply by 2. So come and write here 2 multiply by 2. Now let's go towards 12. Divide this by which number? The last number digit is an even number, so divide this by 2. 12 divided by 2 is how much? 6. Again divide by which number? The even number, so divide by 2, so 3. Again divide this by which number? By 3, because it is only divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is how much? 1. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is equal how much? 1. So here, see here at the end we got 1, and here we have prime numbers. Write it as a what? Product means multiply 2 into 2 into 3. So I'm going to come and write here 2 into 2 into 3. Again take 18, divide by which number? Last digit is an even number, so divide this by what? 2. So 18 divided by 2 is how much? 9. Okay, that means in 18 how many 2 do you have? 9 times. Okay, and 9 by which number can you divide? Only by 3. In 3, 9 how many 3 do you have? 3 times. Again 3 by which number? By 3. So 3, how many 3 do you have? 1 time. So here you can say you only have what? You only have 1 at the end. Now this is done. So here how can you write? Here this is your prime numbers. So when you have prime numbers, how can you write it as a product? These prime factors, right? Like this, by multiplication. 2 into 3 into 3. If you write like this, what can you say? 2 into 3 into 3. So that what can you say here? This is how you write it. So here let's come and write 1. Let's go and write it. 2 into 3 into 3. Okay, now did you understand? We wrote everything as what? We wrote everything as a product of its prime factors. Okay, now what should you do here is, okay, now what should you do here is, see here we got 2 how many times? Here we have 2. How many times did you got? 1 time, 2 time. So go and write here 2 in a very small way. Okay, write it 2 small. Okay, in top. You call this as what? You call this as index. When you write the how many times you have a number, you call it as index. And this main number is known as base. You will study about it, but I'm just saying it. Okay, so here you're writing your main number, that is 2. How many times do you have it? 1 time, 2 times. So you will come and write here 2 times. Okay, so you call it as 2 to the power 2. Okay, I have to write it like this, 2 to the power 2. Now here 2, how many times do you have? 1 time, 2 times. So write it like this. You call it as 2 to the power 2 into, okay, multiplication sign 3. Come and write 3. But how many times do you have 3? Only 1 time. So come and write here 1. Okay, now again if you take 2, how many times do you have it? Only 1 time. So come and write it once. After that, 3, how many times do you have? You have it. How many times do you have 3? 1, 2. 2 times. You have it 2 times. So come and write here 3 to the power 2. Come and write it here 2 times. Now did you understand how to get this? Yes. After you get something like this, what will you do here is now say me, once you found all your index, like once you found like this, okay, after you take something like this, what will you do? Now you have to take the number with the largest index, okay? You have to take the number with the largest index. That means here if you take, what is the number with the largest index that you have here? That is, if you take 2, okay, if you take 2, what's the largest index that you have here? That is 2 to the power 2 to the power 2 and 2 to the power 1. What's the largest? 2 to the power 1 or 2 to the power 2? 2 to the power 2 is the largest index. Here your index is there, no, it should be the largest. So those number only you have to take. Here 1 if you take, that is smallest, so you can't take. And if you take 3, okay, if you take 3, what is the largest index that you have in the 3? 3 to the power 1 and you have 3 to the power 2. So 1 is its largest index, so 3 to the power 2 is its largest index. That is 1 is 3 to the power 2 is your largest index. Am I right? 3 to the power 2 is your largest index. So I will come and write what? I will come and write 3 to the power 2. So I got the numbers with the largest index. Here also I got the numbers with the largest index. Now what will I do? Now I will come and find my LCM, the least common multiple. How will I do that? That is, I'll take this 2 to the power 2 and I'll take this 3 to the power 2 and I will multiply both of them. How can I multiply both of them? 2 to the power 2 means how many times do you have 2? 2 times. So I will make it larger. I will expand it. Expand means making it larger. Again, 3, how many times do you have? 3 to the power 2 times. Then 2 times. Okay. Now, after that, I will be finding the answer for this. 2 multiplied by 2 is how much? 4. 4 multiplied by 3 is how much? 12. 12 multiplied by 3 is how much? 36. So 36 will be your LCM. Did you understand how to use the second method? That is, remember that you have to take the number and you have to use but you have to divide it. Okay, you have to divide it and find the prime factors and write all your prime factors as a product. As a product. After that, you will take how many times do you have this number? 2 times you have means you write it here 2 times. That means you call it as index. 2 times. Okay. Then here again 2 how many times? Again 2 times. 3 how many times? 1 time. Like this you have to write. Here also same. 2 1 time, 3 2 times. Like this you have to write it. And after that now you know 2 you have here, 3 you have here. So have to see what is that number 2 where you have the largest index. Here index should be largest. So here 2 is 2 to the power 2 is also there, 2 to the power 1 is also there. So 2 to the power 2 is the largest for the number 2. So I will come and write here. And 3, if you take, what's the largest index that you have? 1 or 2? 3 to the power 2 is the largest. So I will come and write here. And after that I will come and multiply these 2 to the power 2 and 3 to the power 2. And I will make everything larger. 2 to the power 2 means 2 times. 3 to the power 2 means 3 times. And I will multiply everything. So when I multiply all of these together, I get the answer 36. So this is my LCM, the least common multiple you can find by using the method of writing it as a product of its prime factors. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the, okay. Now let's go to your third method. Okay. Now let's go to your third method, that is your division method. Okay guys, now let's see how to use the third method and find the LCM of any number. Okay, now if you take that, now let's say that for an example, okay, we are using the same example 4, 12 and 8. Now we are going to divide all of these number by a common number. Okay, all of these number by a common number. That common number, what can I take here? 4, 12 and 18. I can take 2 because all these numbers are even numbers. So if you divide this by 2, okay, if you divide this number by 2, then what can you understand? You can divide everything by 2, all three numbers. Now in 4, how many 2 do you have? 2 times. In 12, how many 2 do you have? 6 times. In 18, how many 2 do you have? 9 times. Now again come and divide this. Now see here, if you take number 2, can you divide this by number 2? Yes, 2 and 6 both are divisible by number 2. Why? Because these two are even. But 9 you cannot divide. But don't think about that. Even if you have two numbers where you can divide it by number 2 or by any number, divide it. Don't worry about all three numbers. Now 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 9 divided by 2, you can't divide it because you will get decimal number. So keep 9 as it is. And again, by which number can you divide this? 3 and 9 is available, so by 3. Here 1, okay. So 1, do you have 3, okay, inside it? No, you don't have 3 inside 1, so keep 1 as it is. 3 divided by 3 is how much? 3, how many 3 do you have? 1 time. And in 9, how many 3 do you have? That is 3 times. Okay, now can you divide by anything? No, 1, 1, 3. Okay, you don't have to take any number because it is the end. If you have any two numbers, you can take any number. But if you don't have only one number, you don't have to take any number and divide it like this again. No need to do that. Okay, because if you have only two numbers, you can divide like this again. But only one number, no need to divide again. So this is your end. This is your end. Now how are you going to find the LCM? That is, remember, if you want to find the LCM here, take all of these and multiply. Not only this, take all the numbers in your last row as well. Take all the numbers in your last row as well and multiply everything from here to here until the end and find the LCM. How can you do that? 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 and 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 3. Okay, like that you have to find the answer. You have to multiply everything from this beginning until the end, until the last row, and I find the answer. What is it? 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 4 multiplied by 3 is how much? 12. 12 multiplied by 1 is 12. 12 multiplied by 1 is 12. 12 multiplied by 3 is how much? 36. So what is your LCM? That is 36. So how are you going to find the LCM using third method? That is by using division. Did you all understand? You have to take all the numbers and divide it by using a common number. Keep on dividing. Once you got all the numbers here, take everything and multiply. And also you have to take all the numbers in your last row as well and find your LCM. By multiplying everything until the last row together, you can find your LCM. Did you understand? Okay, so whenever they give you like this, you have to use the method that you feel is easy for you. Okay, they can ask you to use the first method, second method, or third method, but there are some situations where they will ask you to use any method. So whatever method you feel is easy for you, you can use it if they say the word any. But I would say third method is the easiest. Okay, this is the easy method when it comes to division. Okay, division is the easiest method that you can use. Okay, but it differs to every person. Okay. Okay, now another one I wanted to say here is in your LCM there can be situations where there are some numbers it won't have any common multiple. Like if you take some examples like 4, let's take 3 and 5. If you take these numbers, okay, if you take these numbers, you won't have what? You won't have enough amount of common factors. For example, 2 if you 4 if you take, I'm going to divide it by 2. 4, how many 2 do you have? 2 times. 2, how many 2 do you have? 1 times. Now we got it. Now write it as a product of its prime factors. I'm writing it like that. So 2 into 2 I'm taking like this. For 3, what do you have? It's a prime number. So there will be only 2 factors. What are those? 1 and the number 3 itself. Okay, 1 and the number 3 itself. Again 5, it's a prime number. So what will be your factor? 1 and the number 5 itself. Now here, can you take any common one? Any common one do you have here to circle? No, you can't do like that. So when you have numbers like this where you don't have even any common number like that, what will you do? You will take those numbers, and to find the LCM for that number, what will you do? To find the LCM for that number, you will multiply those number itself together. 4 multiply by 3 multiply by 5, then you can get the LCM. 4 3s are 12, 12 5s are 60. 60 will be your LCM for this number. When you don't have any common numbers to get, then what will you do? You will divide that number. Okay, for these kinds of number, you will multiply themselves together, and then you can find the answer for your LCM. Did you understand? Okay, guys. So this is the end of the lesson factors and multiples part 2, and I hope that you all understood everything. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.